do the operation. Now let's go making the prediction. Now for multiple regression, how the predictions are made. So we have seen the formula for linear regression. Now let's see the formula for multiple regression here. Our predict function output an estimate of sales given our current weight, that is coefficient, and companies TV, radio, and newspaper spend, whatever. Everyone is having their own weight, W1, W2, W3. And our model will try to identify the weight value that most reduce the cost function. So sales is equal to W1 TV, that is first parameter, its weight is multiplied, plus W2 radio, its weight is multiplied, and third W3 newspaper. Okay, the third weight. So weight of television into radio into newspaper, they are calculated, and then accordingly we will calculate the sales of it. Fine, sales of it, that is what is possible. Now see, we are talked about the, and we have seen about the same in linear regression to initialize the weights, the value of m. And for this case also, for multiple regression also, we generally, when you start training the algorithm with the gradient descent, so we have to initialize the weight, but these weights are given in the form of an array, practically vector, in the form of a vector, column vector, or matrix of some m number of rows and n number of columns. So columns are single only, but number of rows is equal to number of weights. So for example, here if you initialize the weight, W1 is 0.0, sorry, W2 is 0.0, that is also 0, and W3 is 0.0. So when three weights are there, practically when you have to initialize, we'll be creating the array of all. So they are combined together, weights is equal to np dot array of W1, W2, and W3. Or they are combined together, and the weights matrix is formed, is created. And once this matrix is created, then we will use it to learn from it. See this one, this is how it's possible to do it. Okay, so we define a predict function with features and the weights. Now we have seen the concept of matrix arithmetic already in linear algebra, so this is the application of it here. See, so for example, we have features. How many features we have? 200 features, sorry, 200 rows and 3 features are there. Okay, for example, 200 rows and 3 columns, that is 3 features we have, and 200 entries are there. Then our weights, how many weights will be there? This one, 3 rows and 1 column, 3 rows, W1, W2, W3, 3 rows and 1 column is there, weights. That's what we have created. And then predictions. So how predictions are? So we will be calculating the dot product. Okay, we have learned about dot product also. Dot product of matrix with a vector, or matrix of a matrix. So dot product we are going to have it. So this is what we have done over here. It's a dot product. Element, first element with W1, second element W2, third element W3. Like that we have calculated. So predictions is equal to now np dot dot of features into the weights. Features into the weight. So weights, what we have, three weights. So every element in the first row, first column of it, then second column, then third column, then go to the second row, first column, second column, third column, then next row, first column, second column, third column. It's multiplying it, and according to that, the predictions are created here. That's what the dot product that we are calculating here. np dot dot for the feature vector, feature matrix into the weight matrix also. Weight is vector actually, feature is the matrix. That's why I'm multiplying. So dot product of them is calculated, and with the help of the predictions are done. That also we have seen. When we have seen the multiple regression example of empty cars, that we have talked about the same. We calculated 3 different kind of weights or 3 different kind of coefficients that are multiplied, and with their multiplication we are calculating the 3 weight. So basically, practically, when you build the algorithm, there is a special parameter called as fit intercept. You have to create the intercept or not. So for this case here, in this algorithm, intercept is not created. Intercept will be 0. It's not added. Correct. So intercept is not required to create always. It's not required to be created always. Remember. So intercept will be false. That case only multiplication is done and nothing is added, or that multiplication is done and then these terminology are added together, terms are added together, and then we generate the final predicted outcome of it. This is the example. And now what the cost function for multiple regression? So now we need a cost function to audit how model is performing. How model is performing. So for single regression also, simple regression also, we are having the your MSE, mean squared error, and for multiple regression also will be having the mean squared error. So the math is the same, except that we swap the mx plus b expression for w1 x1 plus w2 x2 plus w3 x3. We also divide the expression by 2 to make derivative calculation simple. See this. Here we have that. MSC is equal to 1 by 2 n into summation of I is equal to 1 to n for I, yi, original value of y, minus predicted values of y. These are the predicted values. W1 x1 plus W2 x2 plus W3 x3. All. Their prediction square and their average, that is mean. After addition we mean. So mean squared error, the difference between actual value and predicted values, their square and then calculate. This is the cost function which is used to find a cost or loss for the multiple regression. So when we have multiple weights, multiple inputs, and accordingly that this calculation is done, and with this we can calculate. See, if you check the code of it in Python pattern, see, these are the examples only mentioned. Remember, features are 200 by 3, targets are 200 by 1, and weights are 3 by 1. So for every column, different weight are there. Target is the outcome and features are the income, that is input, sorry. Then total number of elements are taken, length of targets. How many are there? 200. Correct, 200. Why? Because we require to create the mean squared error. In the mean squared error function, we require a value of n. So predictions equal to predict, feature and weights. We'll predict that. We have seen this predict function. We multiply that weights and then accordingly we'll calculate this one. Predictions are created. Now predicted values minus target values, original values, their subtraction and raised to 2. We call a squared error. Squared error, and mean squared error is by this method. That's why you have seen here. This formula will apply, and accordingly will calculate return 1 minus divided by 2 into n into squared error dot sum. So squared error is the different squares and their sum means addition of all that will be done. Fine. So the formula which is mentioned here, that is created, and with the help of it the mean squared error is calculated, which is the cost function for the multiple linear regression. Check out the cost function. So that's converted into code fashion. So when you have to do the things practically, because very difficult to remember, but when you do the things practically, it will be very easy to remember it and will be always used practically. Fine. And okay, so what about the gradient descent that we can apply to multiple regression? Again, using the chain rule, we compute the gradient vector partial derivative describing the slope of the cost function for each weight. Remember, for each weight. So we have seen gradient descent individually for simple regression, but for multiple regression, gradient descent calculated for separately for this separate function. So f dash of f w1 is equal to minus x1 into y minus predicted y. Same. Second case, f dash of w2 minus x2 into y minus predicted y. F dash of w3 is equal to again minus x3 into y minus predicted y, like that. So in this method, the things are calculated, and the complete code I mentioned here. You can check it, this one. With the help of gradient descent, how we can do this one? So here the features are extracted from features column, first x1, second x2, third x3. Okay, and then we calculate the partial derivative of each weight. How it is? D of w1 minus x1 into targets minus predictions, w2 minus x2 into target minus predictions, w3 is equal to minus x3 into target minus predictions. We got that. w1, w2, w3. Okay. Then multiply the mean derivative by the learning rate and subtract from our weights. So weights of 0, 0 is your values into the mean of w1, second LR into mean of W2. Again, third, LR into mean of, and finally, we got the weights. Three weights are there, remember. Three weights are there. That three weights we are returning from here in the column format. Row 0, column 0. Row 1, column 0. Row 2, column. See what I mentioned. Updated weights, that's why you are seeing this one. 2 by 2, only 0 column means one column is there, 0th column, and row 1, row 0, row 1, row 2. Like that's why you are adjusting here by this method and return the weight. So why this weight updation is possible by this particular formula. We update the weights. We have seen gradient descent. You start learning. LR is the learning rate here, which is multiplied. We have seen that also. Learning rate we multiplied with the mean of partial derivative values, and then we update the weight. So whatever number of iteration you want, that number of time you iterate it. To update the weights, you iterate 100 times, 500 times, 1000 times, 2000, whatever, just mention, and accordingly we'll create it. And simplifying with the matrices, the gradient descent code avoids lot of duplications are there. So you can improve in somehow. So in other way, to refactor would be to loop through our features and weights, allowing our function to handle any number of features. However, there is another even better technique called as vectorized gradient descent. Vectorized gradient descent. So we use the same formula as above, but instead of operating on single feature at a time, we use a matrix multiplication to operative on all the features and weight simultaneously. So we replace xi terms with a single feature matrix x. Gradient is equal to minus x target minus prediction. That's what we have seen here. Here, target minus predictions. This is what we apply. Gradient is created, and then let's use the bias term, which is not considered over there. So in our train function is the same as the simple linear regression. However, we are going to make one final tweak before running. Add bias term to our feature matrix. So in our example, it's very unlikely that sales would be 0 if companies stopped advertising. Is it okay? No. Means if you don't advertise, your sale will not improve. It's not the case. Fine. So possible reasons for this might include the past advertising, existing customer relationship, retail location, and salespeople. They're already knowing it. Without advertisement also, your sale will go on using, but advertising is improving your sale. Correct. So bias is this base. Bias will help to capture this base case. These people are there. These people are driving your sale. That is called as a bias term. Bias is required, but means if you stop advertising, directly sale will not stop. Means they are not directly multiplicative. They are additive also. So additive factor, which is the base that we have to adjust, and multiplicative factor is taken directly from the advertising. Now how it is done there? See the code. Below we add the constant 1 to our features matrix, and by setting this value to 1, it turns our bias term into a constant. See, bias is equal to np.ones and shape is equal to length of features. How many features are there? That's what we got, and column 1. That number of ones are created. Ones means np.ones is created, used to create a one matrix. Ones matrix, all 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 will be there. I think we have seen that in the linear algebra, that ones will be created, and then this bias will be appending to the features matrix in the axis 1, means in the column, a specific column that will be added there. Bias term will be added. So we'll add the bias term as 1, means all the columns will contain 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 extra bias there. That will be added initially, but by the gradient descent, we can change the value of bias. That's possible. And finally, when you are evaluate the model performance, see some example how to evaluate it. After training our model through 1000 iteration with learning rate of 0.005, we finally arrive at a state of weight that we can use to make predictions. Like for example, the weight of television is 4.7. We got, for example, rate of radio we got 3.5, weight of newspaper we got 0.81, and the bias we got 13.9. After 1000 iteration, let's say 1000 iterations, these values we have received. So our MSE cost dropped from 110.86 to 6.25. So initially, when you initialize your weight with 1, weight with 0 and bias with 1, so that time MSE will be 110. But initially, when you do this all operation iterations, and gradient descent learning is done, then your MAC will be 6.25 at the end. 6.25. And see, this is what the learning is happened for the same case. Learning iterations 1000 are there, mean squared error will go on decreasing, but it will not be zero at any case. There can be some error present at the end, so it's decreasing from 120 to almost 10. 6.5, that's what I see. 118 to 6.25. That is shown over here in the concept of the model evaluation over here. This is what the concept of regression methods and regression modeling are present. Okay, many are there regression technique that you can try. You just have to try by your own, by some practical examples and application of regression that we can try by your own, and we can get the practical understanding of it. Basically, to learn machine learning, practical understanding is important. Than that, there is nothing difficult in this case. Fine. So if you have any questions or doubts, you can put in the chat box, or if not, we'll close this session here, and only one unit is remaining, and that unit is classification algorithm, that we'll see tomorrow. Two classification algorithms are there, decision tree and new best classifier. With theory and practical part, we'll see how to work with that two algorithms there. Fine. So thank you. Okay. See, why there's a difference in accuracy of train and test set. See, data set is same, but remember one thing to note, that the algorithm is created for that data set. It may be not possible that it will work for all the data sets. Remember, algorithm is created for that data set which you have shown over there. That's why it's a problem possible there. See, for the polynomial regression, maybe the curve is different for the training data set there. So algorithm is created for the training data. That's why it will work only for training data, and for testing data it may not work. That may be the case. Even see, in linear regression there is no much overfitting is present, but for decision tree algorithm, overfitting is very regularly occur, because algorithm is created according to training data. Maybe testing data is somewhat having deviation there. It may not work 100%, or it may not work with the same accuracy training data is contained. There should be some deviation present. So that may be possible. That may be possible. Linear regression and decision tree are the two algorithms where the overfitting problem may occur. Not always, but it may occur, because algorithm is created for training data, and they are not knowing what exactly it will work over there. It's a problem of data set also, not the algorithm always. Data set, if it is like that, then also it may be possible that you can overfit the data. Maybe. It's a part of practice again. You can try that.